ह्या दिसांनी खूपच पावस पडटा आणि खुबश्या लोकांक तुम्ही उलयतनाय आयकलां आसतलें की असलो पावस तेंच्यांनी तेंच्या पुराय आयुश्यान पळोवना. पूण आमी जेन्ना लोकांकडल्यान अशें आयकता जावं आमी स्वता हो एक्सपिरियन्स घेता की इतली वर्सांचो जो आमी पावस पळयला तेज्या परस ह्या वर्सा जो पावस पडला तो खूपच आसा. पूण हे फक्त आमी उलयता. पूण खऱ्या जर आमकां पळोवपाक जाय की हो कितलो पावस पडला जाल्यार म्हाका दिसता आमी नंबरांनीच उलयल्ले बरे. कारण कितले पर्संट चड पावस पडला जावं इतली वर्सां जो पावस पडटालो तेज्या परस ह्या वर्सा कितलो पावस पडला आनी ह्यो सगळ्यो गजालींचेर जर आमकां दिसता ह्या सगळ्या प्रश्नांचे जाप आमकां मेळटली जाल्यार आमच्या वांगडा आसा दोतोर रमेश कुमार जे जावन आसा मेट्रोलॉजिस्ट तशेंच ते रिटायर्ड चीफ सायंटिस्ट जावन आसा NIOचे. दोतोर वेलकम. आणि जशें हांवें म्हणलें की इतली वर्सां म्हणटा की लोक की सगळ्या वर्सां परस ह्या वर्सा जो पावस पडला तो चड आसा. सो म्हाका सांगा कितलो पर्संट एक्सेस रेनफॉल ह्या फावटी जाला आणि तुम्ही जर काउंट करीत जाल्यार ह्या वर्साचो पावस आणि पयलींच्या वर्साचो पावस कसो डिफरन्स हे करताल तुम्ही?
थँक यू स्वप्नील फॉर इंट्रोड्यूस मी. आम सांगता इतले पावस येवपाचे जाय की आमी मान्सून म्हणगेल जाल्यार बेसिकली इट इज विंड नॉट रेनफॉल. आमी सगळे कन्फ्यूज करता एक कॉमन मॅनाक पावसा लागूनच येता. इट्स बेसिकली विंड. आमकां इतले झाड पडले इतले रूख यें जाल्ले it's basically because of wind, not because of rainfall. Okay, and unless and until that branches were pruned or whatever, so there are n number of incidences where it is actually huge wind. We get actually very strong winds which come at the surface level, and it goes up to 4 to 5 kilometers in height during the monsoon season. No doubt, it brings lot of moisture from the Arabian Sea, from the southern Indian Ocean, etc., and gives copious amount of rainfall. हे वर्षाक आमकां 124 इयर्साचे record जाल्ले आमकां जुलै महिना.
म्हणल्यार 124 वर्सां.
Yeah, from 1900 onwards till today, we had the maximum amount of rainfall in the month of July, 21-24 millimeters पावस पडलो. Previous to this, last वर्षाक 1777 millimeters पावस पडलो. ताजे फुडें 1953 आसले, 1748, and there was actually a little bit less, 1742 आसले in 1931. हे सगळे record आसले. And this yesterday, for example, काल आमकां इतले पावस मेळ्ळो. In fact, we had 20 centimeters or 200 millimeters of rainfall in Valpoi. Then we had actually 175 millimeters actually in Sangam. Then we had also other places. And the lowest amount of rainfall was actually 85 millimeters in Kanakona. So there have been several instances. In fact, July 2024 was a record as a. In fact, every day it was actually like a new record. It's like actually a T20 match. New records are created either in bowling or hitting, number of sixes, number of fours, and each person, each individual, each day. For example, on 7th of July, which ended on 8th of July, 8:30 a.m. morning, we had one of the highest amount of rainfall for the whole state of Goa, where we observed or got 236 millimeters of rainfall in one day. And several places, including the state capital Panjim, received almost 36 centimeters or 363 millimeters of rainfall in one day, and several other places. So it is actually, I would say, so abnormal. Mind you, ये आमका La Nina म्हणून असले effect ना असले. La Nina is supposed to come in the month of July or August. ऐते के नाम खबर ना. It may come or may not come. La Nina also plays a very important role actually in the ocean atmospheric coupling and आमच्या monsoon, the whole Indian subcontinent, including the state of Goa. Okay, so
पण दोतोर एक कित्याक जाता कारण आमी आता म्हटले की इतल्या वर्सां असो पडूच ना पूण ह्याच वर्सा तो पडलो. तुम्ही म्हणले जाल्यार एक दिसान रिकॉर्ड ब्रेकिंग पावस पडलो. पण हे सगळे घडटा कित्याक ह्यो गजाली?
या बेसिकली ओशन एटमॉस्फियर एका इतले पावस पडपाक आमकां मॉइस्चर हे सो मेळटा, ओशना सो मेळटा, अरेबियन सी सो मेळटा, नाल्यार बे ऑफ बंगाल सो मेळटा, नाल्यार सदर्न इंडियन ओशन सो मेळटा. एका सिनॉप्टीक कंडिशन्स जे आसले एक मान्सून ट्रफ म्हणटा. It's actually going from Sea Ganganagar to the head Bay of Bengal. There's a trough, there's a low pressure system which goes up to 1.5 kilometers in height, and that is actually keeps on shifting. That is one. And offshore trough monocer, the Gujarat coast up to Kerala coast, that is actually just also is actually very conducive. And convective systems. This year, unfortunately, we had only a single convective system in the head Bay of Bengal, very close to the Odisha coast, only for 2 days. 19th and 20th of July. So there are hardly any systems, but other things were very conducive. And that's why we got a record rainfall even for the Indian subcontinent. If you have watched actually Wayanad, for example, this year, Delhi is another example. There are several places. Even though the monsoon started actually 30th of May over Kerala coast and 4th of June over the Govan state, that rainfall, in fact, mean rainfall for the months of June, July, August and September are 900 millimeters, 1029 millimeters, 644 millimeters and 305 millimeters based on a base period of actually 1989 to 2018. So if you look at that, you can see this year, June was actually 967.2 millimeters, which is quite higher than actually 900 millimeters. And July was 2124.4 millimeters, which is very, very high as compared to the mean of 1029 millimeters. As I said, the previous highest was actually in 2023, 1777 millimeters, and 1953, 1748, and in 1931, 1742. So there are so many things. In fact, the state of Goa has actually 55% excess rainfall as compared to the Indian subcontinent, which is only 2% excess. And the last day of actually July, 31st of July, we had actually, I would say a monsoon, or the month of July ended with a bang. Itle paus pollo. I was mentioning about Kepem received about 200 millimeters, followed by Valpoy 175 millimeters, and Sangam, which received about 167. So each place, mind you, these are all single daily values, and the lowest was actually in Kanakona. So there are so many places, and not only that, 7 places out of the 13 rain gauges, 7 places have received more than 3,000 millimeters of rainfall, which is very, very unusually high. Mind you, we are talking about only the 2 months of June and July. We have actually another 2 more months left, August and September. And if the phenomena like La Nina is mellow, you will have actually more and more rainfall. La Nina is a phenomena eastern equatorial Indonesian jata, near to the Peru or the Ecuador coast. Basically, the sea surface temperatures becomes cool or much more cooler than the normal. So subsurface temperatures come, and this in turn affects water circulation also. The water circulation amche monsoon effect jata. Itle effect jata ki it whenever La Nina's jele amka खूप पाऊस मिळतलो, Indian subcontinent मिळतलो and आमचे गोयन स्टेट मिळतलो. So
पण आम्ही तयारी किती करपाक जाय तर तेन्ना आम्ही अशें पळयता कारण
okay, excellent question. Basically, पाऊस इतले बरे resource आसा, natural resource आसा. And one major thing is actually, as I said, monsoon is not purely rainfall. Itle vaare येता. So maybe basically we should think of actually pre-monsoon. Pre-monsoon cleaning of actually the drainage, and other is actually wells, ponds, and pruning or trimming of actually the old trees with the branches, etc. So there are n number of things which as a individual or this one society can do. And these natural resources should be stored. There should be a good amount of rainwater harvesting. Itile paus padtale, everything should not go into the Arabian Sea. It should be harvested either in the form of the well, and the societies, housing societies, institutions like say NIO or maybe Goa University can think of harvesting, and some of them are already into that. NIO is already doing a job. In Goa University also they have been doing it. So all the institutions like say NIO, Goa University, National Center for Polar and Ocean Research, and maybe BITS, IITs, NITs, Goa Engineering College, PCC, everybody.
Even MLAs of constituency can do it.
Easily, they should do it, because ultimately, or else we will fall prey to this tanker mafia. I'll put it that way. See, it is in no time the water will become scarce or almost disappear, especially even in the post-monsoon months of actually October, November, December, or maybe in the March, April, May. So if basically we need to recharge the groundwater recharge korpa jai. It should be a mechanism to store it. That is a very, very important.
Okay. So finally, दोतर बरे भशेन सांगले तुम्ही नंबर कशे आम्ही म्हणतात की सगळ्यांत चड पावस पडलो. तुम्ही सांगले 124 वर्सांत जितलो पावस पडू ना तितलो ह्या वर्सा पडलो. म्हाका एक सांगा, आता तुम्ही वता वता आमचे जे दर्शक आसा, जे आमचे लोक तुमकां पळयता, तांकां तुम्ही कितें मेसेज दितले? कारण जशें तुम्ही म्हणले की वेगवेगळ्या इन्स्टिट्यूशनांची रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आसा, तशी एक इंडिव्हिज्युअलाची रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आसा.
इंडिव्हिज्युअलाक खूब रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आसा. फॉर एक्झाम्पल wells clean korpache and dorpache, so the groundwater recharge jata. And ponds, whether it's the temple ponds or whatever, or maybe creeks like this, we have actually Sandinus Creek or whatever, that area should be cleaned. And maybe the drainages, because drainage block it will start flooding. So there are so many things we can actually do as an individual, as a society member. And maybe all the rainwater which comes actually falls on your roof can be actually harvested and goes actually into a unused well or whatever. So there are n number of things as an individual can do, a society can do, and most of the constituents as the MLAs or MPs can do, and the various institutions, whether I'm coming from NIO, so NIO is already on that job, Goa University is also doing, other institutions can also copy in or join that and make actually a huge area where the groundwater of actually Goa can be recharged, and you'll get actually more and more of. Thank you.
Thank you दोतोर, सदांच तुमच्याकडे उलोवन बरें दिसता आनी बरी म्हायती मेळटा आमकां.
Thank you.
Subscribe Prudent social media channel and press bell icon for latest notifications.